What came through in this morning's writing was really about the power of placing our attention on our intention. How what we do isn't the primary role, and it's how we're doing it. What level of consciousness are we operating in? What is our vibratory state, and what frequencies are we emitting out to the world? Because that is going to determine the results behind what we're doing and what we're going to get back. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm the host of the Lost and Found podcast where we have conversations with amazing different people in the pursuit of self-exploration and finding more wisdom. And I recently decided to start sharing some of the things that I write in the morning, which feels like they move through me rather than coming out of me. So every morning I sit down and I have no idea what I'm going to write. I'll ask to receive, and then I will just start to write. And every day it can be completely different. But what I do find is every day I gain a huge amount of clarity and insight through what comes out of the pen. So these up until this point have been very personal to me, but I decided to start sharing these in case they could offer value to anybody else. So let me know in the comments below if you got value out of this. So let's go ahead and jump into what came through today. And then after that, we'll break it down a little bit more for some further clarity. Knowing what to do is not your primary role. Attuning yourself to a certain frequency will determine how you do something. The how is what will create the outcome. One can seemingly do the wrong thing in the right way, and the energetic offering to the world around him or her will create a resonance which will be returned. So if you do what appears to be the right task, but you're attuned to a fear-based state, it will create a subtle charge of fear which will hinder its efficacy and the knock-on effects. If attuned to love, joy, peace, one can do very little and have a powerful effect. It's not the action that's been taken that makes the difference. It's the intention and emitting frequency that creates the resonance to occur. Emit fear and you create conditions for more fear. Emit love and create the conditions for more love. When you create something, the intention and frequency in which it's created will be received by others through it. This is a form of transference. It doesn't just happen person to person, but also moves through the vibratory field of an object. Because everything is vibration, we attune and charge other things with the frequency we're attuned to. A message, a phone call, a social media post, even an exchange of eye contact. What shines through is the true vibratory state. That's why salespeople can have a bad reputation, because they take on a certain role to make a sale which doesn't align with their true state and something feels untrustworthy. You don't get what you want, you don't get what you are, you get what you're being. Bring your attention to your intention. What effect do you want to create in your life and in the world? Attune yourself to the frequency of what you want to be, create and receive, and operate from that state. This will immediately create what you desire from your state of being, not by what you're doing. This is the power of being, and explains why two people can do seemingly the same thing, but have very different outcomes. When you intentionally choose your state and operate from that place, you become far less outcome dependent. You can choose to feel how you want to feel if you were to achieve the desired outcome. From this paradigm, you are no longer dependent on the outside world going a certain way for you to feel the way you desire. This is true freedom. Now, what I really got from that was a couple of different things. One, I can actually predetermine how I want to feel from the inside out. Whereas it's so easy to move through life creating the conditions for how we feel based upon what is happening around us, what results we're achieving, what the outcome of our actions are. So many people are doing things hoping that the outside world changes so they have permission to feel a way in which they want. Whereas what came through for me with this is that we get to determine how we feel in advance, which is really ultimate power because I'm drawing state from within. But secondly, When I first choose that, I'm now going to emit that and it's going to bring more of that back in. So we create this resonant frequency. If I'm in lower levels of consciousness, if I'm operating from shame, guilt, grief, apathy, fear, any of these states, what I'm emitting is going to be that. Even if on the outer, I'm making myself appear a certain way, if that isn't how I'm truly feeling, the frequency that is emitted is what's going to be felt. So if I'm trying to create something as an offering, but it's laced with fear, people aren't going to receive that in the way in which it's intended and desired. Where if I'm entering high levels of consciousness in advance, if I'm expanding my heart, mm, and really dropping into love, into the joy of being, accessing that inner peace, then when I operate from that place, and you might even feel it now, actually, just in that one breath, I definitely just dropped in a little bit more. So now when we operate from this place, so there's a different essence and a different quality. And it really makes sense to me because I can see in my own life in the past when I've been in these states more continually, how things just seem to unfold in miraculous ways that are really hard to quantify or explain. It makes sense to me that when we're emitting a certain frequency, that life is going to feel into that and give you back what you're projecting outwards. Whereas if we're moving through life, always hoping that things on the outside of me are going to help me lift my state, it's like pushing water uphill because we need to be the thing first, and that is what we're going to get more of. And it really made sense that we don't get what we want, we don't get what we are, but we get what we're being. It seems as though a common clarification in the world of law of attraction or manifestation is you don't get what you want, you get what you are. But it is more clarifying to me that we get what we're being, because how many people are not in the truth of who they are? So what they're being actually isn't aligned in truth, and they're receiving more of what they're being. What we are is infinite potential, and we can range all the way across the scale and the spectrum of the human experience. If we're in the lower realms of consciousness, these lower frequencies, we're going to emit more of that. We're going to get it back. So if we move up those levels of consciousness, enter into those new paradigms, have that as our set point, then what we do is going to be so much more powerful and bring in more of that. Furthermore, if we feel those feelings in advance, how much do we really need to change in the outer world? From that place, it seems to me that the way in which we operate no longer comes from the place of needing something in return, but from the joy of being and wanting to share the expression of ourselves, of our truth, of love, of joy, of peace, and wanting to be that as a gift to the world rather than from thwarted wanting and needing because I'm feeling a lack or I'm feeling empty. So, once again, as I was writing this morning, I had no idea what was going to come through. And as I write the first line, I really have no idea where it's going to go. And it really offered some clarity for me. Felt powerful. Definitely going to add it into my practice and place my attention on my intention. I hope it offered some value for you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did it give you anything or any clarity, maybe on a concept that you'd already been sitting with? And can you see how this could fit into your life to create more of the experience that you ultimately want? If you got value out of this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing this time, this energy, this space. So much love. I'll see you on the next one.